Good evening. I've had quite a wonderful day, spending the day primarily in the town of Dexter, Michigan, which is just outside of Ann Arbor, and which is where my children went to middle school and high school. It was a lovely town for that. It was a small town, and it's still relatively a small town, but my children, participated in various sports there, and they had really good friends there. That, the place really served us well. And I had kind of an idea of how I wanted the day to go. I was going to go to the home of one of my clients of close to 40 years. So we're both over 40. And I'm going to say we're both at least 60, if not upper end. And one of us is living back in the 70s again. I think that would be me. What a wonderful thing to have people still want you to assist them in healing after 40 years. And you could say, well, it's a questionable thing that they still need healing after 40 years. But the world is as it is, and we all respond to it as we do. And sometimes when the world appears wacko crazy for 5 years or whatever, it puts a strain on the system. But anyway, I was texting back and forth, determining a time that we might get together, and I was asked if I had received the invitation to an open house, and there's people outside partying it up. It's Saturday night, and maybe Michigan won their football game. Just don't know. But anyway, we'll hear these voices in the background, and it'll make us pay more attention to what I'm saying, because it's very important. So I was going to meet. Anyway, she told me that this new spiritual healing center was opening up on Baker Road in Dexter, and that there was an open house on Sunday, and would I like to go to the open house with her. She said she's talked to the people there about me and about her experiences over the past 40 years of healing work we've done together. And so I said, well, by all means, I'll be going to the open house. And so, but first, I wanted to go out to the breakfast place I used to take my children in Dexter, and at the time it was called the Lighthouse. And so I told my client, I said, well, I'm going to go to the Lighthouse for breakfast. If in case you want to try to straighten your glass, no, in case you want to go with me, I'd love to take you out to lunch. I'm actually able to transport myself around the city because I'm driving her second car, whose name is Hari, and it's a conscious car, so it's wonderful to travel in it because you feel like you're in a conscious being You're in a you're in a conscious vehicle in a conscious vehicle. But that's just for people like she and I, because I suggested that Harry seems very conscious, and she said, "Well, that's because he spent his first 5 years in the Upper Peninsula, and so he had a lot of space to become more conscious, and space oftentimes aids consciousness." It's a metaphor or a metaphor. Okay, so I went to this place that whenever I would go back to Michigan, I would go have breakfast there at least once and just enjoy the people. And there was a transition maybe 10 years ago where it went from the people that had owned it, they sold it out, and some people from out of town bought it, and they were Greeks. So it went to be a Greek breakfast lunch place. And I was like, yes, this is going to work. So anyway, I went in and they wanted to set me at this table for two because I said I was by myself. They wanted to set me at this table for two because it's very busy on Saturdays. And I didn't really want to be sitting at the table crammed in the corner where all the wait people are going back and forth continuously. I thought that just doesn't seem fun. So I said, no, I'll just sit at the counter. And they said, oh, that's fine. And I get to watch all the action that takes place from the kitchen, the food going out, the food going out, plates coming back, all that stuff is taking place, but away from me, so I have some space. And I made my order. The person that was new to me, because I hadn't been there in 5 years, at least 5 years, 2019. And then when the waitress came around the corner and she said, welcome back. You know, you show up, you're present, you interact with people, they remember you. And it made me just feel so warm inside that I was going to one of my favorite places and it was still so warm and so family oriented. I just felt at home. I haven't created that reality in Washington because I think, according to my t-shirt, I'm a Michigander, just through and through. This is home for me, and Washington is home because my heart is there, because my wife is there, and she's a big part of my heart. So I went to breakfast. I had this amazingly good breakfast. I always do. It's just so good. When I got done, I went over to my friend client, and did a healing session. It was very good. And we agreed that we would meet up at her place a little before 11 on Sunday to go to the open house. But I said, I might just stop by the place. She said, just go on in. They're still working. There's still some last minute things they're finishing there in terms of the remodeling and getting the place set up for tomorrow and to have people come in. And I said, yeah, I have a feeling that that's what I ought to do. So I went in, and as I walked in, I looked around, and then I walked down this hallway, and there was this person, and I just introduced myself to that person, and that person was, and I'll, have to check at some point, but I think that was Danielle, who's one of the partners of this spiritual healing center. She was one of my people. I just felt it like, oh, this whole place feels so healing. And they have these sound tables that produce these frequencies that just shift things. And she does a Reiki and emotional freedom tapping and just the whole place is just completely about healing. He said if I ever needed a space to do my work, it could be there. And I just started to fantasize my life again, living on the lake that I lived on 15 minutes away, riding my bike, or traveling down, or maybe just living just close by in Dexter, and going to the healing center and seeing my clients. Maybe when they want me to, I could do some sort of group healing, meditation, group healing, spiritual center conversation or monologue. I just started to fantasize all these things, and that's the way things come into being. You picture them, you see them, you feel feelings towards them, you feel that image with feelings, and the next thing you know, it's showing up for you. I had a vision of this place taking place years ago, and I come back and there it is, just being finished up during my trip, ready for the open house. Phew, so fun. Life can be so fun once you learn to begin to imagine it being fun. Once you can imagine it being fun, which it took me a while, but I did. So this morning, after I did my hour-long video, I did a tarot card reading, and I wanted to know what were the energies that we're working with as a world group. What are the energies we're working with? What are the energies we've been working with? What are the energies we're currently working with? And what's that going to lead to in the future? So, for the card that the energies we have been working with, we got the 10 Major Arcana, card 10. For a short period of time, I'm not going to call it Trump card, number 10, because that word is emotionally triggering word for half the population of this country, and it may be an emotionally triggering word for the whole population of this country, just for maybe half of the population. It gets them really excited and imagining a future that they want to live in. And for the other half of the population, it feels like it might be causing them to feel devastation and despair. And I'm not sure if either side knows necessarily that they're making up this reality. One's making up this reality that this is great, and the other one's making up their reality that this is terrible, possibly. And my question is, which reality would you prefer? The this is great reality or this is terrible reality? Or would you prefer to just encompass both realities? They're both just there. And one can just feel good about oneself having the polarity, but not being polarized, not being us against them, but like, here we are. This is our them. And these are people that are feeling this, and these are people that are feeling this. And they're all just lovely people having feelings, which is a good thing to be, a lovely person having feelings. It's just good to have feelings. Okay, so what we've been working with is the I'm just going to say it because then if you're triggered often enough, you might let go of the triggering. So I'm just going to say it as the major arcana cards are called the trump cards, and there's, I don't know, 22 of them, I think. So this is number 10. And this one is called the Wheel of Fortune. And that's what it looks like. And the idea is that by your choices on the wheel, it's kind of like a roulette wheel, but by the choices you make leads to the experience you have. So if you choose this, or this, or this, you're going to have experience. Your fortune is going to come based on your choices. So that's just kind of a simple overview. But we're talking about this as the card from our past or what we've been working with. We'll continue to work with it, but what we've been working with is the Wheel of Fortune, and it's related to the planet Jupiter. I'm reading this new book that I just got because I didn't bring my tarot book with me, and my personality life card is the Fool. And when I saw this, I felt like, oh, I have to, I need to work with this book because it's a book of the Fool, Finding the Fool. And you know, that's my personality card. My soul work card is the Emperor. And it's like, I like the Fool. And that's my personality. But the Emperor. Okay, so it's related to the planet Jupiter, and Jupiter is about expansion, abundance, growth, stabilization, belief, and ideals. So I think that's really good. That's what we've been working with. Expansion, abundance, growth, stabilization, belief, ideals. It's both a 10, because it's 1, 0, and a 1. And so 10 and 1 relate to unity, vision, pride, independence, and community together, trailblazing, and confidence. So that's what we've been working with. The key words are a new spark, destiny, larger forces, fate, karma, control, vision, essential change, patterns of movement, routines, luck, understanding our purpose, cycles, transitions, responsibility, rapid change, positivity, trust, faith in something bigger. So we have been focused on our own journey, our own dreams and dramas, our own understanding of who we are. We've been focused on that. Who are we, especially in these times of radical change? For the past 5 years, like, whoa, who am I without this job? Who am I without this thing? Who am I without this freedom? But after spending so much time in solitude and reflection, we rejoin the world. I've been really literally out of the world for 5 years. Starting in 2019, I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. Newly sensitive to the ways that our unique magic, wisdom, gifts, and skills contribute to the cycles and patterns of the universe. It's like sliding from the driver's seat into the passenger side, like getting strapped into a carnival ride that restricts our movements. This sensation can be topsy-turvy, our stomachs dropping, and our breath catching in ways that are surprising, unexpected, and exciting. Luck and fate and destiny form a tangled web of movement, stillness, growth, and destruction as we slip back into the currents of society. We see how the choices that we make impact those around us. I think this is a beautiful book. I'm just so excited that I have it. I love the person. I love that person who wrote this book. Meg Jones Wall. For what we're working with right now, and this is fascinating, we're working with the Chariot, which is Major Arcana number 7. And what this card is about, it's being pulled by 4 figures. I think one's Taurus the bull, and one's maybe a bird, and one's maybe the lion, Leo, and one's the human. But the driver appears an androgynous warrior. You know, it looks like it's armored, and it's holding the Wheel of Fortune. That's the steering wheel. And the wheels go in multiple directions. The wheels aren't wheels that just go forward. The wheels are wheels on the chariot are wheels that turn in any direction. Kind of like some car that Elon Musk is gonna pull up, where it can just go into a parking space by just spinning around and being in it. We'll see. Very creative, that person. I like that creativity, and I don't know if I'm really looking forward to living in this AI world any greater than it is, but I may have to. It's just, we'll see. But the Chariot, the driver of the chariot is holding the Wheel of Fortune. It's holding its destiny in its hand, and what it's going to experience is what choices it makes and what directions it goes in. It's going to determine, this is currently, what we experience is going to be the direction we go, the direction we focus on, and then the energy we put towards it. And in the top of the driver's head is a crab, which represents Cancer. And Cancer is like the home body. It's all about the home, and it's all about caretaking, security, nourishment, sensitivity, and privacy. So the Cancer is a sign of home bodies. And the number is 7. It's the 7, Major Arcana 7. And 7, the number 7, according to numerology, so she covers all the bases here, is about intelligence, duality, movement, determination, protection, and responsibility. So right now we're working with the Chariot, and in recognizing exactly what we crave and vowing to pursue it, we find a sense of personal power that allows us to set new boundaries as well as break through old ones. Break through these old boundaries and set new ones. I like it. I like her a lot. This is really having this different book written by Meg. This is the description on the back of the book. Meg Jones Wall is a queer, chronically ill, Brooklyn-based tarot reader. Writer, photographer, and creator of 3 a.m. Tarot. A columnist and editor for Autostraddle, and a regular contributor to Astrology Answers Meg's work has also appeared in Wired, Catapult Magazine, Luna Luna, Witchology, and more. Finding the Fool is her first book. That's a look. I like her very much. The key words of the Chariot are seeking, triumph, victory, intentionally breaking boundaries, self-protection, focus, achievement, determination, independence, reaching the finish line, power, pride, self-confidence, courage, perseverance, moving into a new chapter, nourishing work, finding meaning. We find it in recognizing what we want and vowing to pursue it. We find a sense of personal power that allows us to set new boundaries as well as break through old ones. But after embracing our human needs and desires, the structures and traditions that once grounded us now grow restrictive. I feel that. They start limiting our ability to set our own course. We're filled with purpose, putting our energy and drive and focus into pursuing that goal with single-minded perseverance. Wandering was a necessary part of our journey, but now our destination is becoming clear, and we chart an intentional course, driving toward that ambition with steady attention and overflowing excitement, reaching that destination with joyful triumph and pride. We believe in ourselves fully and move in a way that balances self-protection with dignity, satisfaction, and delight. I love you, Meg. The Chariot card. And what this is going to lead us to. And because I didn't have my other tarot book, we got, for where we're going in the future, we got the Princess of Wands. And the wands are about creativity. And to me, that reminds me of a birth canal. Where we're going is birthing new forms. We're birthing ourselves in the world as a world. We're birthing a new world together, regardless how we feel about the others. Might as well want to start loving them. Love them all. Just help them to all feel safe in your embrace. You don't have to embrace them. They might want 6 feet. But you can embrace them. One of the comments on my YouTube channel by someone is, I just want to hug you. And I wrote her back and I said, you just did. I felt it. I'm an energy healer. I work on people all over the world over the phone. I feel what they're doing. I felt your hug. It was great. I like you very much. Just have this relationship with everyone if we want to. If we clear the stuff up and we just are in our heart, and we drop out of this intelligence, not using our intelligence, but we drop out of this kind of left brain, I can figure it out with my mind, and drop out of that and drop in and drop in and drop in and come into your heart and say, I don't need to figure this out. I can just love all of it. So we got the Princess of Wands, but in this book is the Page of Wands. And it's 11 and 2. And so what we're moving into in our future, which our future is now, because as soon as we're in the present, the future is our next present or our next president. But The 11 and 2 has to do with healing, is what we're moving into, and we're in it too. Healing, choice, intentionality, sensitivity, intuition, psychic wisdom, and duality, not polarization, duality, yin and yang, balance. The energy of it, and you can see it by the colors, the energy of it is fire. So there's earth, air, water, and fire. And this is fire, the fire of creation. Has to do with passion, inspiration, creativity, drive, purpose, instinct, associated with the soul. I love you, Meg. The key words are experimentation, confidence, passion, desire to move, playfulness, creative questioning. New ideas come fast and hot, setting us buzzing with energy. Can you feel it? Brimming with possibility. This is our life, according to the cards. We may have a sense of the rules, but refuse to be impeded by them. Instead, we're ready to blaze our own trails, make our own mistakes, change the world with our brilliance and our joy. When it feels like our very blood is humming with energy, when our very blood is humming with energy, do you like it? When the idea of capturing our visions in different mediums fills us with power and excitement, when absolutely anything feels possible, that is when we exemplify the joy and optimism of the Princess of Wands, giving birth to a new reality, moment by moment by moment. Okay, so this is a reading for the time. And I'm going to say this is what we're working with, and we're going to be working with throughout the next 5 months. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to do the reading. I probably should keep it separate, but I'm just not feeling like it, so I'm just going to go on. It's 32 minutes, and people can just listen to it or not. But tomorrow, on the day of the opening, I hadn't looked, on the day of the opening of the new Spiritual Healing Center in Dexter, Michigan. It's the day of the week creates the chakra that's being worked with, so it's going to be working with the third eye. And in my healing session a couple hours ago, was it that one? It was last night, but it has to do with the third eye. But tomorrow's going to have to do with the opening of the third eye, open to our awareness of the realm of spirit. And the day is a day of the white solar Worldbridger. And the Worldbridger are the kin that bring us more connected to the world of spirit and the world of form. So there's no new centers opening up, a center of spirituality and healing. Open to everybody. Just come, explore. Explore yourself, explore your community. And the words, so yesterday was guided by universal water. Monday is guided by vision. but tomorrow is guided by spirit. White solar Worldbridger. So let's just go to solar, which is tone 9. And tone 9 has to do with pulse, realization, and intention. From the perception of the multisensory human, the intention behind an action determines its effects. The intention. Every intention affects both us and others, and the effects of intentions extend far beyond the physical world. Solar tone. White Worldbridger. The sixth kin, which is white is the north. Its chakra is the throat. And it equalizes, the three words are equalizes, death, and opportunity. And there's the Maori people, who I think were New Zealand, but they had a saying, you were, you will be, know this while you are. Your spirit has traveled both long and afar. It rose from the source, to the source it returns. The spark which was lighted eternally burns. Worldbridger represents revelation, realization of the mortality of the physical body, the organic balance of life and death, the realm of neutrality, which facilitates bridging and connection, intimate exchange with the spirit of the ancestors. As a force of equalization, the inevitability of death humbles us all as we contemplate how all things have an eventual ending. We are drawn into the richness of the now with the perception that death equals opportunity. We find a sacred key that speaks not only of our imminent passing beyond this physical body, but also in regards to ego death. By continually shedding what no longer serves, we learn to yield to death as a natural overturning of cyclical processes. Releasing identities and surrendering attachments grants us access to new worlds. Worldbridger asks, what within your life is asking to be let go of or ended, to make way for a new cycle to begin? What is discovered when you contemplate our human mortality? How can we overcome fear of death and find trust in the journey of life? How can we honor the reality of death in all its facets as a sacred ally of life? Let us welcome the power of death to liberate us from self-defeating habits, fears, and limitations. The power of death. A succinct mantra for aligning with Worldbridger power is, I surrender to opportunity. And the Peace Pilgrim wrote a beautiful book. She's a wonderful human being. And this is a quote from her. When you know that you are only wearing the body, which can be destroyed, that you are the reality which activates the body and cannot be destroyed, how can you be afraid? May this video be a blessing to you that deserve a blessing from me. And you know who you are, and you know that you are safe with you. You are safe with me. I am safe with you. Thank you. Namaskar.